Hey, and welcome to this month's WTF to Eat recipe demo. One of these days I'm going to accidentally say the full word that stands for, but didn't do it this time, which always a win. So for those of you guys who don't know me, I am Jess Cording. I'm a registered dietitian, health coach, and author. And every month I bring you a different recipe I'm loving to help make healthful eating as easy as possible. Last month I did a little survey and you guys told me that you wanted more lunch, dinner recipes, so I'm sharing with you one of my favorite easy sheet pan meals. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen I do a lot of sheet pan meals. I like them because they're easy, first off. So easy prep, easy cleanup, and super versatile. I love the idea too that you can just put everything on one pan and it cooks, and you don't have to do much. I use my oven a lot because I need my hands free a lot of the time running around after my daughter and all the things I'm doing in my work and life day to day. So if I can put something in the oven and not have to do a lot with it, that's a win. And I see some of you guys joining. Hi, I'm so happy you're here. Oh, and Mom, so nice to see you too. I love when my mom joins. So yeah, I'm gonna just talk you through and show you how to make this super easy recipe. So first off, to start with the sheet pan meal, you need your sheet pan. I like to line mine with foil and parchment paper just for extra easy cleanup. You can skip that step if you prefer, up to you, but easy is good around here. So we're starting with about a pound of broccoli. You're going to notice that what's on my sheet pan looks a little smaller than a pound. That's because I made half to show you, half to demo with. It's just one of those weeks. But I chopped up some baby broccoli really nicely because that's going to help with your, that's just gonna help make it cook easier, evenly. But you can add asparagus, zucchini. I love this with some different, I love red onion. I love sliced yellow onion on this. But any vegetables that you want, that you think taste good with pesto, could go on here. So you're gonna preheat the oven to about 400. Toss this with olive oil, some salt and pepper, any other spices you want, and put it in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. If we're doing the broccoli version, that's about how long it'll take to get a little bit crispy, but not overly so. And while that's cooking, take your shrimp. So again, this is not a full pound, but in the recipe, in the caption, you'll see it calls for a pound of shrimp. I almost always buy frozen shrimp. I like to get it peeled, deveined. I don't want to have to play with the tails or any of that. And then you're just gonna mix it with some pesto. So if you were doing the full pound of shrimp, I'd say put like a third of a cup or so. Obviously this is a smaller amount of shrimp, so smaller amount of pesto, just math. I'm gonna toss that really well until the shrimp are well coated with the pesto. If you wanted to, you could add some extra garlic powder or garlic, minced garlic. So this is just wild shrimp. This is just jumbo wild shrimp. Cooks up really quickly, which is awesome. And pesto, you can go different ways. I'm just using a traditional pine nut based basil pesto from a jar with some Parmesan cheese in there. You can totally DIY. Somewhere in the depths of my profile, I have a nut-free pesto that is made with sunflower butter, basil, nutritional yeast, olive oil, I think some lemon juice in there, some garlic. There's tons of different pestos you can buy. Sun-dried tomato pesto. You can get, there's a really great lemon artichoke pesto I buy sometimes, but we're going more traditional today. So let's pretend that this broccoli has been cooking for, 10 to 12 minutes. We're gonna push the vegetables aside, make some room for our shrimp, and we're just gonna put the shrimp right there on the sheet pan. Spread them out so they can cook well, so they're not all on top of each other. All right, and then this is gonna go in the oven. So, depending on the size of your shrimp, probably you wanna look at 6 to 8 minutes if you think it needs a little more time, but I would always say start with less time than you think you'll need because it's always easier to add more than to open the oven and be like, oh man, totally overdid it. I also wanted to add a note. I have worked with, I've been doing client counseling for almost 15 years, and I've just found that so many people are still convinced that shrimp is going to raise your cholesterol, like, please get over that. That is not the case. Shrimp, while it does contain cholesterol, it's extremely low in saturated fat, overall fat. It's a really great source of lean protein. It is not going to jack up your LDL cholesterol, so please don't worry about that. Unless you're allergic, shrimp is an awesome option. So, and you can add it to so many things. So when it's done cooking, you're going to end up with just some nicely cooked shrimp and broccoli. Very easy. I like to mix this with, so it's great obviously with pasta, and you'll have extra pesto most likely, so you can toss that right in there. I also love it in a salad. So this is delicious, hot or cold in a salad. You can add other vegetables if you want. Of course, some lemon, parmesan, always takes things up a little bit to the next level, which is awesome. You can even use any leftover pesto you have to make a dressing. So if I'm doing that, I'll usually take a little bit of pesto and then add some lemon juice or some red wine vinegar or similar. And then toss it up. Toss it with your greens, any other stuff that you're adding in there, and it's a really easy, delicious thing. And unlike some other fish, shrimp actually keeps pretty well for a few days. I would say like up to 3 days in the fridge, stored properly. So this is a great one for meal prep too, if you're making a few portions ahead of time. So it saves you time, money, energy, decision making, all good things. And it plays well with lots of other ingredients. So I'm really happy that you joined me today. As always, I love hearing from you. I love hearing what you think of these recipes. So if you decide to try this one, take a picture, post it on your Instagram stories, tag me in it at Jess Courting. I would love to see your creations, as I always say. And listen, this recipe I shared today is because you were asking for it. So please tell me what you want to see. I love hearing from you. I love knowing what you want to be learning about, trying out different recipes. So if there's something that you're like, if I could just get an easy recipe for this, it would make my life so much easier, or show me how to make a healthier version of this, like, send me a message. I am here for you. So yeah, I am glad that you joined me for this little cooking demo today. I know we're doing a little bit of a different time than normally, but if you like this time, I'd love to hear that too. So as always, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to watch the replay if you're just joining now. And yeah, we'll talk soon.